Okay, welcome, friends, to the Sovereign Medicine podcast. I'm really excited to introduce you today to a good friend of mine, Nathalie Paul. Nathalie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Now, I've known Nathalie for a few years through spiritual community in Sydney, through a healing modality that we both trained in called unconditional love healing. And when I met Nathalie, she well, I guess we're both on a personal journey of kind of putting together all the pieces, the aspects of health and healing, into something integrative, something holistic, that is, not just compartmentalizing, you know, into physical health and sort of dogmatic, diets. I mean, I'm sure we've both tried some of those, um, and not only, the spiritual work, the practice, the emotional challenge, but really bring together, physical, the mindset required for healing, navigating those colorful emotional challenges, and really, when I saw it really come together for Nathalie, it's when she started dancing. And I remember, Nathalie, you to begin with, you were dancing on your own every morning or what, once a week on the rocks in Maroubra in the eastern suburbs of Sydney on the beach.
When I started to dance, then I had to dance every day and at any time.
Uh-huh.
I like dancing.
Yeah.
There was no particular time. And
Yeah. And what was your life like before dancing?
uh, I would say I had the belief that I was not allowed to dance. So before I started to dance, I thought I had no expressive skill, no capacity to be artistic. So I really thought that being an artist was far away from me. Like it was definitely not something I would have thought before.
Right, yeah. I love how that can sort of, it's a crucial piece, hey, and it's not something that we've actually talked about in the lead up to this, but just um like stepping into an artistic lifestyle. And often, when we think about art, we might think about painting and drawing and maybe
Yeah.
music, but really it is your life expression, isn't it? It's that artful way of putting together a rich and beautiful life.
Mm.
Mm.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
So interesting because as I'm sharing right now, I actually was a pianist when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When I think about it, I was playing in a way that was like very like automatic. Well, actually, music is art.
Yeah.
I was really into this mindset that I had to be perfect.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Playing the piano um, without identifying myself as an. So it's really interesting to see that I actually was playing and using my heart, but in a kind of unconscious way.
Okay. So are you saying that you were connecting with the music and it was flowing, but you had this concept that it wasn't it wasn't right, or it wasn't good enough because it wasn't sort of technically perfect, or it wasn't the way that you were taught?
Yeah.
And you're just seeing the thread there, that you actually had that intuition, had that creative spirit, had that improvisation skills, which kind of, in a way, it can't be taught. Um, you're identifying that you had that early on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I was playing, but I was definitely not improvising anything. I was using beautiful pieces and rehearsing them. So it's almost like I was stealing someone else's work and just repeating it. And I was putting myself in that, um, putting myself a lot of pressure. I was like, I have to do this perfectly.
Mm.
Right now, I realize while I actually had this opportunity to be an artist, but I was seeing it as a performance. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, it is. It does. It can take. Um, if we haven't had that that journey, that had like a natural journey when these wounds come up and we shut down our creativity. Yeah, it can take sometimes that there's a process in coming back to just being able to enjoy
Yeah.
your art, enjoy the movement of your body, coming back to dance just for the sake of it and not for,
Yeah.
perfecting, performing, mastering. That's something, yeah, if we bring that back to, I could talk about that with music, with art, and yeah, with dance as well. That is something that I love now. It is natural. It is just how I like to express myself, connect with others. um, yeah, there's not a whole lot that comes up about that. It's often, things that can move through
Yeah.
stuck energy and stuck emotion when I'm on the dance floor. Um, but yeah, for a long time, there was like this awkwardness, this rigidity, yeah, and this kind of shame about my expression. And I, yeah, have a memory from childhood about what that was about, and how I shut that down for a long time. So, and I guess that just kind of is leading me on a little bit of a thread into physical health as well, because I know that um, yeah, I look at photos from like early 20s, and my body's is like this rigidity there, which has begun to flow and change in my 30s when I started to connect with and unlock those those pathways of expression that really needed to happen. So that might be a good sort of segue into coming back to we'll start with your physical health challenge that started you on this journey. But I'll just, for the listeners, sort of explain where we're going with all of this. So Nathalie has, you'll explain this in a sec, and a lot better than I can in this moment. But yeah, it started with a physical health challenge, a gut challenge, which is something I'm super interested in, because the main offering I have in my work at the moment is a gut healing program. So keen to hear the nuances that Nathalie brings um, to that work. As she's someone who helps people with health and healing. And particularly today, she's going to share their mindset that's required not only for healing, but she'll share 10 principles and maybe dive into a couple of them that can help you to create your life. So it's manifestation, which means, and what we're talking about just a moment ago, about like artfully creating an enriching, enjoyable life that is a true expression of your soul. So yeah, Nathalie, would you like to take us on the journey? Take us back to, was it 2011?
When I felt this excruciating pain,
Mm-hmm.
actually, since the age of 7 years old, I always had some very bizarre health issues. Um,
Okay.
oh yeah, always had something. Once a year I had a problem, but it seemed to resolve, and so then I was moving on to the next thing. Going through life. Um, but yeah, there was always something weird with me, and my father is a general practitioner, so it was actually hard for him to see me suffering, once a year and not being able to pinpoint what it was.
Mm.
So until I reached actually the age of, it was when I was 29, so 2009, things became much worse at a physical level. Um, I was, so, I was looking strong, looking fit.
Yeah.
Inside, something started to build up, and to the point that I felt a lot of fatigue and pain. And suddenly, I found myself unable to work, unable to talk, to laugh, to my eyes were extremely painful. So my
Mm.
autoimmune diseases started in my eyes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it took a while to get a diagnosis.
Right.
Yeah, a long time. And just at this moment when I was suffering and I didn't know what was going on, that was the time that I had decided with my ex-husband to change life. And so I
Mm.
basically came to Australia in that state of, with that state of illness.
Okay.
The journey of, the illness, um, coming back to health,
Yep.
started 2009, and in 2014 massive shift, and so my life changed. And since 2014, I feel like a different person. i'm I am symptom free, and something massive has changed. It's in my mindset. That's
Okay.
most.
Amazing. And it's so beautiful how it seems to be quite a common step in the journey, or there's something that disrupts someone's lifestyle
Mm.
at some point, and it's a challenge. Often it can be like that physical illness, and you mentioned, yeah, like your father working in the medical establishment, having that frustration earlier on,
Mm.
that he wasn't able to connect with the solution for what you were dealing with, and then ultimately that health challenge called you into really, well, you changed your life. You moved, um, you moved overseas. You said it was your ex husband, so that relationship shifted, and you're imagining your identity, like who you knew yourself to be, um,
Mm.
completely transformed over that time. So yeah, I know that for anyone listening, if you got a health problem, it can become well, I like to turn problems into projects. It can open you up to something deeper, but it does take courage to choose to walk your own path. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did that look like for you?
Well, it's the hardest thing ever because I had a lot of money. I was strong. I had some sort of, a perfect lifestyle. I was married. I had everything. I could dream about everything. I had everything. So when my health fell apart, um, then I realized, well, without my health, I am nothing. Um, and so it took me a long time to, and it's actually one of the principles of healing that, I discovered
Cool.
a long time to accept. And I think it's really, really hard to accept something that you have never wanted. So I would say from the moment I accepted my situation, then I could create something else from scratch.
Sure. And your situation, I know, yeah, it was Crohn's,
Yeah.
amongst other things. Were there other sort of, did
Uh,
you have diagnoses or?
so it started with a very severe eye disease. Uh,
Yeah.
and so I was diagnosed with, it's called a posterior scleritis.
Okay.
and I was becoming blind, and it's
Wow.
pain. It's like having a stabbing behind the eyes, and it's just horrible.
Yeah.
Started with that, and then my body was really, really weak. And it's actually after 1 year of being with that sickness in my eyes that I started to have symptoms in my tummy, in my gut.
Okay. Yeah.
So it took a while for my doctors to. I was, I felt like I was not heard. I kept telling
Yeah.
I'm not digesting my food. I have so much pain, and they were telling me, yes, that's the side effects of your medication, for the eyes.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
the doctor who said, look, we're going to do some testing about maybe you have an IBD. And I never thought about that, but
IBD, was it? The inflammatory bowel disorder?
like
Yeah.
an intestinal bowel disease,
Disease. Yep, that's it. Yep. Yep.
so, which is an autoimmune disease,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
the gut. So it means your immune system is actually working too hard to the point that it's attacking
Yes.
you instead of just balancing and attacking, other things external and to keep you in balance.
Yep.
So I was diagnosed in 2012, and it was a shock because I went to do this, colonoscopy, gastroscopy, and the doctor, the gastroenterologist, just said, "Okay, so you have Crohn's disease. You're gonna have to take this drug. Bye."
Okay.
Yeah, I was in a shock, like everyone would be, I think.
Yep.
Especially like in my family, no one has ever had any sort of this sort of disease before. Uh,
Yep.
so yeah, so I got that diagnosis, and later on, I developed other things in my body, chronic
Mm.
um, Epstein-Barr virus that was detected in my body as well. I was suffering with yeah, back pain, and so I was diagnosed with spondylitis as well. So basically, I was feeling pain in my back, in my jaw, in my gut, in my eyes, and my whole system was really tired, and I could feel pain on my skin as well.
Yep. So yeah, that's a really like noteworthy point in that you had this awareness. You didn't know much about health at the time, I'm guessing. Um, is that right? Or you had a bit of your interest?
The thing is, I was a nerd about health.
Oh, you're already a nerd at that stage about health. Well, there you go. So, and also just knowing your body. Yeah, yeah. Is that you're in a better position to explain this is what is going on, for me. But
Hmm.
often people maybe if they don't have that passion, they haven't become a nerd or even really known that they can listen to what's going on in their body and piece things together. Often when we see medical professionals, they're just focusing on one thing, and they're just focusing on your eyes, and they've missed that. And it's an immune system
Hmm.
issue which interfaces with the gut. And in the tool that I've found with the helminth worms, it regulates the immune system so that it's not attacking your body, or it's not reacting to food. So it's wonderful for Crohn's, and that's how I'd sort of target gluten intolerance, but really inflammatory, the IBD, IBS, and also mental issues that come out of having an unhealthy gut can be resolved when you get that gut biome back into balance. But I'm really curious because I know that you've come a long way. You're fit, healthy, moving, joyful, ecstatic. Yeah, as an ecstatic dance facilitator these days, an amazing DJ. Yeah, well, let's jump into the approach that you took to healing once you took matters into your own hands, because it sounds like you weren't getting a lot of support, just a prescription, and so
Hmm.
yeah, deal with it.
Yeah, definitely. I want to answer your question.
Yeah.
I'm very, very curious about the worms. because
Mm.
I'm not using them. So would love to hear about that at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to talk for the next hour about worms, but we're here to hear about you. But yeah, to put it simply, and I'll tune in with you later, and anyone else is free to reach out, send me an email. I'll put some links in the show notes and talk about it at the end. But basically, what we're finding is that the human gut biome is supposed to have some kind of worm life, or um, um, the microfauna. You've heard of microflora. That's the good bacteria in your gut. There's also the natural animal life that an ecosystem should have. So in developing countries where maybe sanitation isn't so great, they have too many intestinal worms, and it causes malnutrition, leaky gut, and so on. But in the West, in developed in countries like Australia, um, we have experiencing autoimmune disease because there's not enough worm life. So what they actually do is they see it as training the immune system. Like you said earlier on, your immune system was kind of like reacting, overreacting, and causing that inflammation in your body. So when the helminths are there, they kind of do a little dance, a little wrestle, with your immune system to train it so that it's not attacking the. That is just like a little metaphor. There's plenty of research science about what's going on with the the like interleukin 6, 10, all the technical stuff for the nerds like us who like to jam on it. But basically, the end result of that is that the immune system is regulated, nervous system is regulated as well, so calming the mind through the dopamine, regulation of dopamine, serotonin, GABA, mostly GABA actually. Um, and also like hormonally. So I mentioned dopamine and the adrenal pathways and the hormones involved there in that sort of stress, fight, flight response. So there's a lot I could say about it, but basically, firstly bringing that digestion back into balance, and you can absorb more minerals, more nutrients, and start to like build up the body again, get your strength, get energy back. And for me, I find just a sense of security, safety, knowing that I can eat something and my body will benefit from it rather than sort of attacking itself. So yeah, that's what I'll say for now about helminths.
I have a silly question. In which form do you take that?
Oh yeah, it's a very important question because yeah, you're probably not looking at the video, but Nathalie's postulating a long, dangly worm like a rainbow snake lolly, um, which is novel. But yeah, the worms that we work with come in a little vial of liquid. You can't see them, they're microscopic. They actually larvae at that stage. So it just looks like water. Mix it in some MCT, some coconut oil, or any fat, and drink it. And then, especially on the first time, you can start to notice this little flame in the stomach and like these little butterflies. And I was aware, and others have found like this awareness of this different sentient life form that hasn't been there before, and it starts to your mindset, your thought, your mental state shifts a little bit, which is quite interesting because there's a lot of life in our gut, which is not human. It's bacteria, it's helminth, it's fungus. And yeah, and they communicate with our nervous system and give impulses and feeling, and yeah, it's a whole planet in there
Good.
inside.
That,
So
mm.
so what about you?
Yeah.
How tell us about um yeah, what you did next, how you pieced together um not only healing but potentiating your greatness.
Mm.
Hmm.
So, as you know, I was raised in a conventional way regarding how to heal the body. My father always
Hmm.
heal for a headache, take a pill. So initially, I was believing in that until I had so many side effects that I wanted to get rid of the pills. But I was like, if I get rid of the pill, then I'm sick. So what am I gonna do? Um, so I've always been very interested in food. So even before the sickness and the diagnosis, I was actually eating really healthy. I was
Yeah.
always eating organic foods. I was actually a personal trainer for. So I was I had some knowledge about nutrition and the body. I would say the way I was functioning was I was very pushy with my body. I was not listening. Um, so yeah, I was pushing myself. Um, and what was happening at the time is I was eating, but I think I had a lot of stress and a lot of blockages, emotional,
Yep.
suppressed emotions.
Mm.
So what happened at the beginning of my, my journey, I was taking those drugs, I was sick, and I decided to open myself to the holistic therapies. So I started to see nutritionists and naturopaths. And so it helped me to really, yeah, I discovered new foods, I discovered herbs, and it was actually helpful. I was like, oh, that's cool. I can actually heal my body and slowly getting rid of these medicines and these drugs that are giving me side effects.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, that's awesome. I am on the right track. The fact is, I was able to get better, and after a little while, there was a relapse. And it did that for a few years, getting better and then relapsing. And
Mm.
obsessed with nutrition, with food. So my only focus was, okay, how can I make it this even better, even more perfect? That was an obsession. I was very scared of the world because I was afraid there would be some perfume there would be like some chemicals here,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
social. And I was stressed out. I was like, I can't be there. I can't be there. What is in this food? And basically my world was very, I was very anxious. So it took me,
Very limiting.
sorry,
Very limiting.
yeah,
Restricting.
very restrictive.
Mm.
So it took me a few years to um, really get that nutrition, holistic therapies, they are very important. As much as the conventional medicine, I would say it has helped me. But what was missing was actually the emotional aspect.
Yeah.
I was really not in tune with my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really grateful for actually that person. It's a meditation coach that I met on the way.
Yep.
Yeah, at the time I was actually not sleeping, and she gave me like some tips to sleep better.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so simple. It was about being very present.
Mm.
Present at night with my bed sheets, with my pillow. It helped me to fall asleep.
Beautiful.
The lesson that I got that night was, okay, maybe I want to take that presence into my day. And so I started to meditate every day. And it's from that moment when I started to meditate, and I was meditating a lot. I was sick, so I could not move too much.
Mm.
I had all the time in front of me. So I was meditating 2, 3 hours a day, no distractions, just myself. It was in Bondi, and so much came to me, and I realized, okay, I think I've been obsessing about food. Maybe there is something else. And so it's from that moment that I actually realized there must be something else. The way I think, what I believe in, all these emotions that I have repressed until now. And that's when my healing journey started. When I actually decided to really open my heart, I was still looking at the way I eat, but then I didn't have these relapses anymore. It
Yeah.
started to really get better and better and better,
Mm.
and it's been like that, and it's been 6 years now.
Yeah. I think you said a few really wonderful things in there that I want to highlight. And just what I'm getting from what you're sharing about getting better and better, it sounds like the shift came when, like, it's kind of you could link it back to your piano days, because you were doing the same thing with your nutrition. You were getting everything like right,
Yeah, that's
but
right.
there was something missing. You're doing all the right things, and it's frustrating. And I think that's so common as well on this health healing paradigm. It's a natural part of it to get hardcore
Mm,
about your practice, about the process, and then it's very frustrating when you're hitting up against some limitation of, I'm doing all the right things, but I'm going in these waves. And then when you connect with the emotional
mm.
world in a way that is not about fixing, overcoming, conquering, but like that yin, that gentleness, that turning inward, um, and um, yeah, and being with yourself,
Mm.
you start to notice that those waves are a natural part of life. And when you're in on the descent of a wave, it's no longer necessarily bad. It's not like it's the waves descending and you're surfing.
Exactly.
You're not getting dumped anymore, but you're surfing, and you might come off, but then if you do, oh, I can't wait to get back out there again and go for another ride.
Yeah, exactly. It's like dropping the resistance, like you said. It's like you just go with it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think at some stage, sort of taking that, like that outcome off
Yes.
the pedestal of, I need to have all my ducks lined up, all the pieces together before I really start living, you know, before I create, the next piece. My health needs to be tip top, perfect. Or yeah, I like what you said about sleeping as well. I've had a number of people this year particularly share that they've had trouble sleeping, as have I at points throughout this year. And I know there's always something going on, at an emotional level, at a subconscious, unconscious level, that I just don't want to or can't, I'm not able to look at during the day. And often our dreams take us into that. But if that resistance is there, it's hard to fall asleep. So yeah, so that sleep programs and a sleep tonic is something else I've got in the works. But yeah, so you once you started to, yeah, allow the emotions, allow the symptoms to be there, they're no longer like the enemy. So I think that's important as well with autoimmune disease, is that the body is at war with itself, and we can be at war with ourselves when we deny, repress, or like disavow an aspect of our experience.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Your words very aligned with how I felt.
Yeah.
Like my pain was my enemy.
Mm.
Did that, and I made my pain a partner.
Yeah, I love that you. I made my pain a partner.
Mm.
Wow, that's can see that on a poster or a book cover or something. so
Partner.
so what did that look like?
Mm. Looks like something really witchy and weird.
Yeah.
It worked. So yeah, as I was meditating one day, I was allowing myself to be. I was actually able to not judge myself anymore for whatever I was thinking, and so one day I thought, okay, I'm gonna make my pain my partner, and I know at some point this partner will leave me. This is how
Mm.
it was a story that was in my head, and it felt really good. I was like, you know what?
Wow.
This is my partner right now, and my partner is asking me to care for them. Like, they really need me for a moment. I don't know how long it will be, but it's telling me, you know what? Look after me, please, because when I'm okay, I will leave you for sure. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this for you. So I just realized that there was the me and there was the pain,
Mm.
two entities.
Mm.
It felt like very liberating. I felt like, oh my God, I'm not this pain. I'm something else. I don't know what I am yet.
Yeah.
And, look after it and share it.
Just begin with awareness. I'm the awareness of pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I was doing is basically it's like I was living with
Mm.
another thing with me all the time, and I was looking after it.
So you kind of started this dialogue and this relationship.
Yeah, I was starting a relationship and
Mm.
really talking to it when I was in my moments of meditation. I was talking out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that you from the start recognize this partner will leave me. And this is a beautiful moment of healing, of integration. And that's, because we can become attached to our pain stories as well, can't we?
Yeah, I agree with that because I realized at some point that being in pain, I actually had a lot of attention from my parents and from my ex-husband.
Yep.
Really,
Mm.
because actually my ex-husband he changed to look after me. My parents had, yeah, a different approach with me. So it was serving me in a way, but at some point I was like, I don't want this. But it's true that it had actually, it's almost like I'm controlling them with my pain.
Mm. Hmm. Yeah, it is. Uh, that's crucial that you identified that dynamic playing out, isn't it? And yeah, that is something to contemplate on, just um, how much of this suffering is really necessary. Like we have the pain, and then like we create so much we don't have to, but sometimes unconsciously we create a lot of suffering to why so that we're connected. Yeah, probably for connection and validation. um
Yes.
and I know, yeah, like something that, yeah, I've been conscious of as well, especially with group dynamics. These days I'm looking, more to connect with people where we can, celebrate the joys of life at the same time as, having an honest conversation about what's real, what's going on, but not dwelling or not allowing, not going into that cycle of dependency, of just sort of passing the pain baton around.
I like
Okay, yeah.
that.
And so for you, your community started to emerge, as you, where do we go from here?
Hmm. It's actually very recent for me.
Yeah.
I would say, so I went through this, physical pain, health journey. When I came out of it, I wanted to explore the world. So I knew what had helped me to heal. So I had actually in my mind, I had all these principles. Okay, that helped me.
So yeah, when you say you came out of it, was that simply like the journey of starting to feel good, like those waves starting to build up and peak to a point of actually, having just good feelings in your body, and you go, hey, I can do some of these things that I haven't done in a long time. I've never done before. I feel
Yes.
freedom and empowerment.
Yeah, I was feeling empowered. My energy level was great. My eyesight was amazing. I had no pain in my body. I could run again. I could work for 12 hours a day, which is crazy, but I did that. I could. I was like, I wanted to do that for a long time. Now I can work. I'm excited to apply for 4 jobs at a time. I did
it,
that.
you'd always do it intense, I know.
I was so happy because I could not do that for 5 years. So I don't know. I don't know. I was just like excited to discover. I was like, it was like I landed in Australia. I landed in Australia in 2014, but actually I was there 5 years before. But for the first time, I could do things by myself. I was feeling free.
Yep.
So I was feeling really free, and as I started to interact with more people, um, yeah, I that's when actually my heart opened more.
Mm.
And yeah, there is something like there is a gem here. um, I went through an emotional challenge that I had never felt before.
Mm.
I had been through the physical pain, but then I went through a breakup
Yeah.
after separating from my husband. I went, through a journey with a man and experienced a breakup. And the breakup was actually a trigger because at that point, at that moment, I would say everything that I had repressed in my life came out.
Mm.
It was one element that opened my heart. So everything that I had not expressed and felt since I was a kid, and maybe before, because
Mhm.
we carry a lot of things from before we were born. I believe that. So 2017 was an emotional challenge. That's actually, or 2016, that's when we met.
Yeah.
And
So,
so, yeah, so from that emotional challenge, I started to dance.
mm.
And dancing was for me the only way to release all judgment. I had nowhere to go. There was no one who was telling me you should get over this. And I could express myself on the dance floor in ways that were no one was telling me you should do this or you should do that. So I was feeling really nourished, better than it was better than food. It was just like I feel so fulfilled here to the point that I wanted to dance every day. So that's when
Mhm.
I started to dance every day, and I was dancing, in the rocks in Maroubra. And it was Christmas 2018. I spent 2 days all by myself because I wanted to. I was dancing for 2 days,
Nice.
and I visualized, I felt it in my heart. One day some people will dance with me here. And I really was enjoying that.
Mm.
And a few months after, in May 2019, one day I was on with my laptop, the one I'm using now, or maybe an older, no, maybe the old one,
Sure.
similar thing. And I just Maroubra dance. And so Maroubra dance started, and very quickly, like lots of people joined,
Mm.
dancing every Thursday, 7
Yeah.
a.m. Thursday. And the group, such a lovely group.
Ah, beautiful.
That's where, I found my community. And
Yeah.
I'm very grateful.
It's very special. Uh, yeah, it's a very special space that you hold, and that container that you've created, and you've attracted so many beautiful, open-hearted humans.
You know,
I've been once. I came a few weeks ago, um, and my heart was already pretty open, and it just opened even more. And just loving seeing you guys get together and collaborating on events, on like mini kind of festivals or retreats. The Love Fest, and I know you did a retreat the other weekend. Yeah, it is. It's beautiful to see that. Yeah, organic growth just coming out of following your heart.
yeah,
Yeah, doing what feels good,
that's right.
right, rather than trying to get it all right.
Exactly. Yeah.
However, you do have 10 principles, and we've been talking for a bit. So, where do you want to go from here with this, with our little session?
Where do I want to go from here?
I want you to take the reins because I've been interrupting, guiding,
Hmm.
jamming. I want to open it up
Hmm.
to you to get your message across fully, clearly.
Hmm. First, I want to say that for me, it's a big thing, the dance.
Yeah.
Because it was one of my traumas when I was a kid, like dancing. I really felt awkward. I had a lot of shame around.
Yeah.
I was going to those dance shows with my mother every year, and I was feeling actually inside so sad. I was thinking I will never dance in my life, and I'm so
Mm.
sad about it. But anything can happen. I mean, I'm so grateful that now I'm actually a ecstatic dance facilitator. It seems like, oh, is that real? But obviously it is. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I run a dance too, and I think that's pretty incredible. I have, yeah, similar
Mm,
pain stories from childhood. Yeah.
yeah. So I want to say, like you said, like really following our heart can lead to things, and we don't need to know what it is. Because at the time I was actually seeing a psychologist. She was pushing me to find my creativity, and I was frustrated. She was telling me find some things to create. So I was actually going there, and like I was like, I don't know what to create. So I started to dance, and it's only after a while that I thought, actually, I'm creating a dance here. So I think the message I want to share with people is it's okay not to know. It's completely fine if not to know what we want. I think it's if we can be absolutely present with the now, and really, it's not easy, but trying to appreciate small things. It could be like, oh, I'm gonna have a manicure, and this can be a simple thing that gives you some peace or some joy, and just going one moment after the other. I think it's already what life is about, just being in the now, and just really trusting the whole process, that the feelings that we have are part of human life. And it's not because we feel upset or sad or frustrated that it's gonna impact our ability to create.
Mm.
The way I live today is really allowing myself to be, but I don't give a power to these negative emotions.
Mm-hmm.
I always remind myself every day when I wake up, I can feel the way I'm feeling, and even if I feel like shit, my dream can still happen. So I don't give power to these negative emotions. I think it's healthy to let them flow inside.
Mm.
One way is to move it.
Yeah.
There is
And
always,
it's energy.
yeah, it is energy.
There's that thing, I think it's kind of cheesy, and sometimes the yoga teachers like to say energy. No, emotion, energy in motion. Okay, I've heard that before, whatever. But it's true. When you tune in to the body, and when you sit with the emotions, and like we do with our healing practices, I include that in my work as well. You feel the sensations, and you get to know a certain texture of what shame feels like, of what anger is, what fear feels like, where you feel it in your body. And then um, you can have a story about it, or you can just be with that sensation, and you realize this is an energy pattern, and then energy can be used for something useful and
Mm,
creative. So then when you dance, you can like move it about, and it will like move through the organs and the parts of your body, and transmute into something lighter, something ecstatic, right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would say the most beautiful, movement that I created randomly, it was out of rage, of or anger, awkwardness.
Mm,
And I know that there is something interesting in that. Yeah.
yeah,
If I didn't allow myself to feel and those emotions, I would not have danced dance the way I dance. So these emotions are definitely like it's a blessing in a way. That's how
yeah.
it's art from our human life.
I hope that the listeners can hear the smile in your voice, because if they don't have their video, they can't see the beautiful radiance on your face as you talk about this. And so what I hear and see that you're saying is that if you didn't allow yourself to feel these uncomfortable feelings, you wouldn't be experiencing this lightness. You wouldn't be experiencing this joy. You wouldn't know yourself. You wouldn't have your friends, like your community, if you continue to push it, and you would probably be in disease.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. So that is just such a key piece of how like bridging that physical, um, physical disease, sort of being in the wrong place with the wrong person, like having outgrown that, um, and needing to shift into what's going to be the authentic, because it's not about, not necessarily, it's not that anything was wrong about the past. It's just as we move through life, we're meant to change and adapt and evolve and learn and integrate, and and shed and open up to more love. We can sort of put in little barriers and walls, and then it's about deconstructing those, and really, really like falling in love with yourself, eh?
Mm. Mm.
Mm. So, wow, I think we've been talking about an hour. And so I reckon if we were to chat about your mindset principles, maybe that might be
Yeah,
another session. Are you feeling that?
yeah. I think it could be another session.
Yeah.
Already, I mentioned one of the principles here.
Okay. Maybe you could, is it easy enough to list them for now? And then we can talk about it in a bit more depth later.
I can do that.
Sure. So Nathalie, part of her work, as I've mentioned, amazing dance facilitator in Maroubra. You share a bit of detail about that before the end. She also works as, I suppose, a mindset coach, would you say, around overcoming these challenges, whether it's physical or relational, really about moving beyond the blocks to creating an authentic lifestyle. How does that is there anything you want to add about that?
That seems right. Yeah, different. Okay, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
those principles came out of my, teachings I got from my health journey. But definitely, I can apply them to anything, and I'm now ready to share and support people one on one.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So the top 10, the big 10.
Okay. So the first one is taking action.
Love it.
The second one is about acceptance, about the past, about the present, and acceptance of your emotions.
Okay.
The third is shifting your identity.
Okay. So we'll just pause. I see you got those first two is about, it's recognizing, hey, there's something going on. I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
But first, I'm going to embrace what's going on. I accept that, hey, maybe I don't have all the answers yet.
Yeah.
And then we're moving into actually what we need is an identity shift.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Number 4 is finding empowerment. You want me to elaborate a bit, or I keep
You
going?
can if it feels relevant. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say anyone who is sick or emotionally challenged, we feel like um, life is horrible with us.
Mm.
Why me? Why me?
Okay.
So there is a way to actually find the God within, find your power.
Yeah.
This is what happened for me. At some point, I had this shift when I thought, okay, actually, I created this. I created the whole.
Mm-hmm.
So if I created it, I can create something else. I can undo it and I can create something different.
That's an awesome moment, isn't it? Because you're recognizing, oh, I've been in victim consciousness, but actually everything I created in there, I created that. And then you find, oh, I've been empowered all along. And now that I have that awareness, how about I create something more beautiful for myself? So you step from victim into empowerment, into conscious creatorship,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can co-create with others too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels really good when you have a glimpse of this feeling. It's just amazing.
Yep.
I can help with that. So
Love it.
number 5 is to build your support network.
Mm,
So
there we
it's
go.
who you surround yourself with, who you decide not to interact with is very important.
Boundaries. Yep.
Yeah. Number 6 is activate the body to heal itself. So it's a big sentence. Basically, it's everything around meditation, presence. So I could speak for hours about this.
I'm sure there's a lot of practical aspects and like a whole toolkit that you've got to support people with making those shifts.
Mm.
Yeah.
Number 7, which is listening to your body. So it's everything related to really being present with your body and learning to develop your intuitive skills.
Yeah.
Then number 8 is persevere and keep going. So
Yeah.
in any areas of our lives, we if we have a goal, we're gonna find some obstacles on the way. And it's not because you face that obstacle that everything falls apart.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's like, okay, this happened. That's fine.
Hmm.
Carry on.
Yeah, we certainly need that one to build that character and that willpower, and yeah, to be like to shift into, like you said earlier, I'm not my pain, I'm not this obstacle. I'm focused on what I'm set out to create, to achieve, to become. And an obstacle, the problem is a project. An obstacle is a way to deepen and to reevaluate um, your the course that you're on, and perhaps find an even more amazing way to do things.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's we up to 8, is it?
Yeah, number 9 is changing your story. So it's kind of connected with the identity shift, but I could say more about this one as well. I won't now, maybe later on.
Okay then.
So yeah, changing the story. And then number 10 is have fun.
Yes.
I know that could be, you know what, if someone had told me that when I was sick, I would have said, what are you talking about? Like, I'm sick. I can't have fun.
Mm.
Some people told me, you don't have fun. And I hated it.
Hmm.
So the way I want to express myself here, and I think it's important to say, I think it's about first, we can have lots of fun when we are in pain.
Mm.
It's about being curious about life. Like maybe bringing a little bit of curiosity
Yeah.
in any moment. And from that curiosity, innocence, then slowly, you're gonna just build more fun and more joy. So really allowing yourself to
Mm.
it will get there. You will get
I love it. And then, like, there's a sense of fun um, that it's like a return to innocence.
there.
And maybe at a certain part, like in life, you're sort of seeking fun, seeking these kind of dopamine hits and these peak experiences, or the parties or the highs or whatever. And then, when you integrate this pain, like that joy can arise for no reason, that silliness and innocence with your friends. I heard a really awesome and like funny story. I can't remember exactly who told it, but apparently when the Dalai Lama and um, Bishop Desmond Tutu, I think it was, get together. Um, the story I heard that at this dinner, this formal gathering, they moved towards each other really solemnly, as you'd expect from such dignitaries and spiritual leaders, and then they tickle each other and giggle, high pitched giggle. I heard that. I thought, man, that's that's so beautiful, because there's a two guys who've been in the trenches, who have been through a lot of heaviness, a lot of dark times, no doubt, and to come out on the other side with that lightness,
Mm,
which just isn't there before we go on that underworld journey. It's a special transformation that happens um, when we make pain our partner and dance for a little while
mm,
before the pain is ready to release, to go,
mm. Yeah.
to give you a kiss and a tickle and say yeah, thanks. You've been good. You've been a great host and and partner, lover.
Sorry.
Yeah. So Awesome. We might wrap it up, but let's give you a chance to share what you're up to, what you've got coming up, how people might connect with you, whether it's on the dance floor or for personal journey.
Hmm. Well, so if people want to know about my dance events, they can connect with my Facebook pages, and I have two, which one is Ecstatic Evolution, and the other one is Maroubra Dance. So on Maroubra Dance, you're going to mainly find everything related to the outdoor dance, outdoors, and in Ecstatic Evolution, it's my indoor events and
Okay.
that I'm co-hosting and hosting.
Mm.
And if people want to get some support, if they are on a health journey or anything that feels really challenging emotionally, um, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with them so they can connect through Ecstatic Evolution and send me a message through Messenger.
Yeah, awesome.
You can also message my name, Nathalie Paul, and
Yep.
yeah, I would definitely support them, and we would assess them where they are within those 10 principles.
Mm.
Definitely give them some tools to find their way and find empowerment and this mindset so they can find peace where they are and create.
Yeah, awesome.
Mm.
Love it. So yeah, if you're in the eastern suburbs of Sydney or the inner west or if you can get to Maroubra early in the morning, or you've got some night events as well, I think in
Oh,
Marrickville, is it, or around the place?
this Friday, 18th of December, we will dance in Darlinghurst.
Okay.
Some spots.
Well, I imagine that it will probably be January by the time I get this podcast out. But do you have you got a venue there that you use a little bit?
Every Friday in January, we're going to dance in Darlinghurst.
Fantastic. Well, yeah, stay tuned to Ecstatic Evolution, Maroubra Dance as well on Facebook. And yeah, if you're feeling a resonance with Nathalie, with her story, with her attitude, her vibration, and you feel like there's something there for you or part of your story, connects somehow with hers or with their principles, yeah, certainly encourage you to get in touch, send her a message on one of those groups, or Nathalie Paul on Facebook, and you can do that wherever you are in the world. So, Nathalie, thank you so much for the delicious conversation today. I had fun flowing down the river with you. Um, yeah, very grateful for your for what you're bringing forward and what you're sharing with the world after being through a um, very deep journey, healing process, and self-discovery.
Mm.
Yeah.
We keep going through life, and there is more.
More and more and more. And I can't wait to talk some more with you another time, and dive deeper into, yeah, well, we'll see what arises on the next call. But I know you've got plenty of content to share. All right. Well, have a beautiful afternoon. Until we meet again, I might see you on the dance floor sometime in January.
Great. Sounds good.
Okay. See you, Nathalie.
Yeah.